Good morning and welcome to the Dark Roast. I'm Donna Stroll and I'm here with the always lovely and talented Rose Short. And today's topic of choice is the transparency advantage and why honest brands are really winning at this time. And in affiliate marketing, trust is going to be doing the most of your heavy lifting, because today's buyers aren't confused about whether affiliate marketers get paid. They know. I mean, they have the internet. They're more concerned on whether or not you're actually being straight with them, if you're being honest with what you're selling, right?
Yeah, but especially with AI tools getting better and better and more frequent, honesty and really just transparency, like we've always talked about and like we're talking about now, is going to be the real kicker. We're seeing already movements of people who are trying to follow creators only are authentic, that are not using AI. And I think that's where transparency with AI comes into place, but also where transparency with what you're doing is super important.
Right. Yeah. And it isn't just about compliance, right? It's about that pre-qualifying trust before their links ever get clicked. So before you even have a link clicked, it's about, setting that trust standard right off the bat. So, when people know why you're recommending something or how you're being compensated and what to expect from you, they don't feel as sold to, they feel like they're being guided. And that's a huge advantage for you and your platform or your business or your brand.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's especially important with affiliate marketing because you're kind of operating, when you decide to be an affiliate, you're kind of operating on borrowed trust and borrowed products and borrowed outcomes, right? Like you are promoting a product that you're hoping already has trust behind its brand. You're promoting a product that you use and maybe you think is great, and that you're hoping that the company stands behind that product. And if you don't have really good outcomes to show, you're also kind of relying on theirs, right? And I've run into this with Affinity Hoop, where like I'm not an affiliate of theirs, but like my outcomes and my experience with Affinity Hoop are not like drastic or dramatic. And so for me to say like, oh yeah, it worked, right, is one thing, but for me to say yes, it worked, and have all the other reviews and all the other creators backing it up is huge, right? Because again, it wasn't a huge drastic difference for me. And if any of those crack, then your credibility cracks, right? Like if you're promoting something that all of a sudden has a data breach or is doing really shady stuff, that is going to come back on you. And so like you said, they know you're getting paid, but the question they're asking, are you actually using it? Is it actually helping?
Yeah, and what transparency can look like, especially as an affiliate, is you say why you're using the product, right? For you, it's fitness. It's not because it's a way to finally get active. You're already active, right? You can share and use real cases, not theory. That's another big one. Like theories are great, but just like scientists, right? They're trying to prove that theory, with real things that are going on, and acknowledge the limitations. If you say like there's another fitness thing where it might be hard on people's knees, so maybe it's not for somebody who's new, or you've got a fitness program that's high energy and it's not, you don't have modifications for people who have physical limitations. Be honest about that, right? If your clothing that you're selling only goes up to size 2X, be honest about that. Oh, it's going to fit everybody. No, it's not, right? Be honest. And disclose the compensation like it's normal, because it is, it's not, you're not trying to hide that. That's not something that you need to hide. If you're not transparent, it's going to show up in things like, this changed my life, without any context behind it, without anything backing that statement up, or pretending you just stumbled across a link. Oh, I just found this. You've been promoting it for the last 6 months. No, you didn't. Right.
Yeah.
And avoiding the disclosures like it's, it's an embarrassing thing. It's not embarrassing. It's part of your job. It's part of your, it's how you're making money, and something that you're promoting that hopefully you believe in. So why are you hiding the disclaimer like it's some sort of shameful secret that you're, got locked away in the basement. Don't do that. Right.
Yeah.
And if you are ashamed to say that you earn money from a product, then maybe it's not the right product for you. You shouldn't be promoting it. That's pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And there's a lot of ways to very quickly and easily kill trust, right? Vague claims or vague income claims with no timeline. Like we saw that a lot, right? Or like, oh, within 3 months I was making this, and it's like, or that overnight success is just ignore the last 7 years kind of thing, right? Like that's horrid. Or that anyone can do this. Oh my God, I've heard that so many times, and time and time again, it's been proven that no, not anyone can do this, right? There are stipulations on a lot of things and a lot of the programs and whatnot. So not everyone's going to get approved. Not everyone's going to have access to all the tools they need to buy at this time to get it going. So, the not anyone can do this, like it sounds great on its face, but if you really dig into it, it's kind of a hidden insult.
Yeah, it is, because even something as simple as a reading comprehension level, right? If you struggle with reading, you might find that some affiliate programs are just not possible for you because there's so much required on that. Or, if you are incredibly shy, have major social anxiety, you might not be able to do it because you're really going to have to be able to put yourself out there. So be honest, there are certain things that you might be able to do, but not everything is for everyone. And that's okay.
Yeah. And then screenshots without explaining inputs. Again, we saw a lot of this where it's like, oh, I just made $1,000, but it was like, $100 a month divviated out, or, it's
$3,000. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, I made, $10,000 from this ad spend. Never mind that I spent, $80,000. Obviously those are high level numbers, but it does happen. And then, throwing all your links out there without any explanation, right? Like, I had this with our lives for a while where like I had one link that went to the live and I couldn't figure out how to delete it. So every time I went live, I had to go back and delete it later because the link that was in it wasn't necessarily true for every live that I did. And that was on me. That was just lack of experience. But if you're throwing your link in your description or, anything like that, and you're not saying anything about it, it's going to be very confusing. And they're going to be like, oh, you're just a money grabber. Like, why is this link here? Like, or if it's a link that has nothing to do with what you're talking about too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how does this, what's the point of this, and how does it connect with what you just did or said or whatever, right?
Yeah. Like, why are you talking about fitness and then your link is a make money online program? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Fair, and yeah. I mean, because like you say, audiences don't really expect guarantees, but they do expect that there is honesty about the amount of effort that goes in, the skills that are required, the timing that it takes, and also the training that's available, right? They want to know what they're putting their money into, and the value that they're going to get out of it. And that's going to be more and more and more, especially as things get tighter. People are not just going to give you money because, ooh, shiny, right? So there is a benefit, a conversion benefit through that. For the transparency, it converts slower, but it's better, right? You attract buyers who are going to stick around because they believe in you, they trust you, they know that you are a trusted source of information. You might get a lot fewer of those "this didn't work for me" comments or emails, right? Because you're taking the time to build that up and build that trust, showing them how to utilize whatever it is that you're doing, all those things, so that they have support in that area. And it allows you to build authority instead of just, trying to chase clicks and trying to get, as many people clicking on the link as possible. But if you're building that authority, people, when they do click, they click with intention, not just to see what you've got, but because they already know that, right? Now they're clicking because they want to carry on and do something more with it. And trust doesn't spike your sales overnight, but that's okay because it helps build a sustainable income versus one and done, right? And that's what you really want. We don't want just people just coming in and then going out, because you don't want to be a fly by night. You don't want your customers to be either, right?
Yeah.
So.
And it doesn't have to tank your sales either, right? Like, if you lead with experience instead of hype, right? Like, we're not all the ShamWow guy. I mean, that worked for them. And I know some people who are like that in real life, but that's not all of us, right? So you don't have to have the bells and whistles and the air dancer and like all that kind of stuff. You can lead with experience. And that's it. Speak loads. And then you set expectations, right? Just like you would in anything else. Don't sell a false dream. Set expectations before they click of what it's going to look like in reality, not in fantasy. Use plain language. Use language you use. I mean, don't try to sound smart if you don't know what half the words are that you're saying, right? If you talk like that, that's fine, and you're gonna bring in that kind of audience. But if that's not you, then just don't do it. And then, you don't want to say like, oh, this is the best tool ever, or oh, this is the ultimate game changer. That one freaking drives me nuts. But you just want to be honest about like, here's why it helped me. Here's where it will or won't help you. Just let them know exactly what they're getting into.
Yeah, because people appreciate that. It's like, I think I mentioned it before. Is it Miracle on 34th Street, the old Christmas movie where he starts sending people over to a different department store, and then they start coming back to the department store that he's at, praising him for sending him there for something that was either cheaper or that they had that the store he was working at didn't have. People appreciate that. They do. They appreciate when you're honest with them, because now they feel a loyalty to you, even if you're saying, you know what, this might not be the best path for you, but there is something else here that you could look at that might be better. When something is in their wheelhouse that you have, they're going to come back to you because you were honest with them. You helped them out, even though there was no benefit to you at that time. The benefit was trust building. The benefit was the authenticity and trust building. And now you have a person who's more loyal to you because of that, right? So it isn't about saying more or, and it's about making things clear for people. It's about, just going that extra mile and realizing that it might be a longer road, but it's a better road in the long run.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And when your audience understands why you recommend something and maybe why you don't recommend other things, how you're compensated and what they can really factually expect to receive from the product or the service or anything like that, you don't have this like fragile trust thing where it's like, candy floss in the rain kind of thing. You have like the glass dome in the rain where they know that, anything that you're saying is true, is something you've tested, it's something that you believe, it's something that you'll stand behind. And that is super important in every aspect of life, but especially when it comes to business, right?
Yeah, because and especially with affiliate marketing, right? Because people already have a hard time sometimes, especially new people. They scream, oh, it's a pyramid scheme and stuff like that, and it's like, no, it's not the same thing, right? I mean, there are certainly some out there that will create that situation, but it's not the same thing. So you're already starting from a little bit of a deficit, even with strong products and strong companies. You might still be starting with a little bit of a deficit. So building that trust becomes additionally important for you when you're creating your business. So, that's basically the bottom line. It's not really that difficult. There are some things obviously that you can do. If you think you're not sure if you're doing it right, just, listen to yourself. Would you take that advice from you? If it was from somebody else, would you believe what they're saying? If you can't come across authentic to yourself, then maybe you need to take a look and see why that is. Other than that, I think that's it for today on this episode. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. That's it from us. If this episode helped you,
or at least entertained you,
go ahead and like, subscribe, and share.
We'll catch you next time.